My name is Shrishti. I am from Ranchi, Jharkhand. I did my bachelor's in humanities at Immersion University, and during my final year, I got very interested in the intersection of humanities and technology, and that's why I applied for the Digital Swaraj Fellowship. So I was located in Sinha, which is a village in the district of Barabanki in Uttar Pradesh. And I was working with the hub center over there, spoke center, the smartphone center. Yeah, as much as I got to learn about the technical side of it, I think it was also a very introspective journey where I got to understand my place in my place in society, and I got to think about my identity. So I think before this I had always been in very urban contexts and very elite contexts, and when I went into the rural Immersion, I got to meet people from very different walks of life, like the economic context, like the social context, were completely different from what I had experienced to date. So that made me reflect a lot upon where I stand in society, what is my place in the world, and just think about larger structures in place. So before this, I had only understood the digital realm in very urban context. Like when they announced e-governance services, for me it was very convenient, very quick, same for e-finance. And I never understood or thought about how for the rural community this means strategic exclusion, because now the alternatives for them were lesser to e-governance. And secondly, one big thing that I found out about was that about how data-fied the rural community is. Before that, I thought data privacy concern was something that was limited to the urban context because of how much social media we use and how we're everywhere on every platform. But after communicating and living with them, I understood that for the rural citizens, they register their data on social media platforms, but they are also extreme forms of data collection also happens by the government for them. So I think in future I envision myself in in a policy kind of role, and after coming from the rural Immersion, I've been able to take part in some multi-stakeholder internet governance conversations, and I think currently there is not much representation of the humanities and social sciences part of the picture in the internet governance forum. So I think with me and with the experience I'm going to take over the day, I'll be able to present a more nuanced pictures of how history and identity and topics like feminism actually affect the digital space. I think my most defining moment in my entire rural Immersion journey was the conversations that I had with the Weaver community, who were working for only 100 rupees a day. And while it is not one moment, I think the string of conversations that I had made me really think about how digital can actually transform someone's life. Like if they have certain skills that would allow them to put their own products on social media, have their own market channels, it would help eliminate the middlemen and actually give them all the income, give them the majority of the income, increase their profit margins. So that was one of the most defining moments. I still think about it because not having access to that income really affected their lifestyles. They didn't have proper food to eat, they didn't have complete furnished houses, they were living in just plastered red brick houses. I think my high point in this journey was actually just being in the rural community, and this was the first time I'd been around so much nature, although I've been in parts of the country where it's not as modernized and it's not as developed as metro cities, but I had never been around in such open spaces. At night I remember looking at the stars and being able to actually see constellations and shooting stars, which is honestly a once in a lifetime experience for me. I think power cuts were a huge low point for me because that's not something that you face a lot, because everywhere you go you have generators and things to just help you and aid you. But I was able to adapt in those conditions, and I think after 2 days I didn't even realize that there was a power cut. That's not common with me. It was definitely the smartphone centers. where people could just come and avail e-governance and e-finance services. And with services, they were also able to build relationships with the DF service providers. And I think when it comes to e-governance and e-finance services, you're sharing such important data and such sensitive data that it's very important to have that trust element, which I was able to see with the sports center managers and their beneficiaries. I think one of my most inspiring conversations that I had was with Mala Yadav, who was a digital lady and is also part of different government organizations like NRM and SHG. And so she told me a story about how she was prohibited from leaving her house, and although she wanted to serve in the police cadet of UP, she wasn't allowed to, and she was married instead. But however, what happened was that due to extreme financial necessities after marriage, she had to go out and work. And the actual impact of the work was that other women from the community also joined her, and they started coming out of the households to work to just make the extra money. And I think I saw her create a really positive change in the community, and I thought, oh, she's already doing the work that I've always wanted to do.